Hello and welcome to News 500. I'm Steve Gribbin.
And I'm Jonathan Hall.
And these are the headlines.
Anjem Choudhury has been charged with being a supporter of ISIS. Critics say he's not a real supporter. He hasn't been to any of the away matches.
Can you hear the hostage sing? No, no. The former president of Sri Lanka, Mahinda Rajapaksa, has said that if he wins his comeback bid, he will crack down on the Tamil Tigers and their youth wing, the Tamil Tigers.
South Africa, Oscar Pistorius is to be released on bail, just in time for Women's Month. You can't make this stuff up.
Linguistic experts say that Cockney rhyming slang is dying out because it does not reflect the modern world. May we suggest some viable updates? Plates of meat, please retweet.
Flowers are blooming, online grooming.
After Gordon Brown's electrifying speech on how to win elections, Donald Trump is to give a speech on how to be a feminist.
Donald Trump has said he will deport America's 12 million illegal immigrants if elected president in 2016. Trump wants to build a wall along the Mexican border. Nobody is going through my wall. It's going to be strong, it's going to be solid, like his head.
In a busy week, Donald Trump had to report for jury duty. As he entered the court, he was heard to say, "I just hope they're innocent. Whoever it is, I hope they're innocent." 4 hours later, he was released from jury duty. Taking a jump, Donald Trump.
Amazing that Princess Di, got any Wi-Fi, rejected his charm offences and turned down a date with the twerp.
Meanwhile, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have published an open letter asking the paparazzi not to photograph their children Prince George and Princess Charlotte playing in private. Easy to see why. Paparazzi? Mummy's not a Nazi. Opponents of fracking have accused the government of changing its stance on listening to local councils' concerns. The Environment Secretary said that the ground had shifted, as have the foundations of all of the houses.
British schools report record success using the method of Chinese maths. A typical problem goes, if you put 700 tonnes of sodium cyanide 800 metres from the nearest dwelling, how many firefighters and civilians will be left?
China have become the world's second largest wine producers after Spain. I suppose it won't be long until we're saying, not for all the wine in China.
Or like a bull in a winer shop.
Or Happy Winey's New Year. Or The Great Wine of Winer. Or I Heard It on the Great Wine.
The NHS could go bankrupt because of the record number of diabetes cases. 3.3 million caused by Britain's obesity epidemic. Meanwhile, the NHS has spent 116 million on prescriptions for pizzas and donuts for patients on special diets. That would be the eat yourself to death before you're 40 diet.
Indeed, due to the increasing size of the Essex Arse, Basildon Council have ruled that 8 passenger seat taxis can only take 7 passengers on hen nights for safety reasons.
Diabetes UK warned this week that type 2 diabetes could be the worst catastrophe that has ever hit the NHS. When asked to tone this down, they said, "We're very sorry, but we can't sugar the pill."
Jeremy Hunt. Convicted Brazilian cannibal Jorge Beltrão Negromonte is bringing out a new single, The Grill from Ipanema.
When charged with the heinous crimes, the Brazilian kept a straight face. In the fridge.
Human flesh for me, still better than KFC.
After bemoaning the death of nightclub in Britain, many so-called super clubs are threatening to leave the UK. The government has said if they leave now, they won't be able to come back in again.
A spokesperson for nightclubs has said that such a policy would be an unmitigated disaster. At least we think that's what they said, because we couldn't quite hear them over the sound of the 1,000 decibel fucking sound system!
I love you.
Thanks very much.
London cabbies celebrated Victory in Japan Day by giving free rides to all veterans of the conflict and charging 3 times as much to Japanese tourists.
Victor Litvinenko, Casta Tenko. And finally, Songs of Praise was heavily criticised by the government for broadcasting from Calais, particularly as they wouldn't use the modified hymns suggested by the Minister for Immigration, such as "Abide with me, that's right, stay exactly where you are. All things bright and beautiful are not available to you or indeed anyone else between the ages of 18 and 25. Morning has broken and so have the fences. Oh, when the saints come marching in, they will be closely followed by riot police with tasers and tear gas." And that's it for news for this week's News 500. The week's news in 500 seconds.
Ish.
It's a bit taters. Facebook status.